Hello everyone, welcome to WebDev Warrior. In today's video, we're going to build a beautiful travel landing page website from scratch. We're going to use the latest version of Next.js, which is Next.js 15. We're going to use Tailwind CSS for our styling and to make our website responsive. And we're going to use TypeScript for our type safety. So let me show you a demo of this website. So if I reload the page, you can see we have animation in our website, and also you can see we have a very beautiful video on the background. So I'm going to teach you how you can implement this background video in your website. Here you can see we have logo, some have links, and a button. And here we have a box for advanced searching and have a search button with beautiful hover animation. You can see it's a very advanced hover animation. Now if I start scrolling, you can see we have our explore popular destination slider, and this section looks very beautiful. And here you can see we can slide from left to right or right to left, and this slider also have a auto sliding feature. So you can see after sometimes it slides automatically. Next we have hotel section, and here you can see we have this beautiful scroll animation and also this beautiful card element, and you can see they also have the hover effect which looks very nice. Then we have this why choose a section with scroll animation, beautiful fade up animation here. Then we have this epic customer review slider. Here you can see we have some text, and here we have this advanced slider which looks very premium and beautiful, and you can see you can do in both sides and it looks very nice and professional. Next we have this exciting news section with the scroll animation. We have this newsletter section, and then we have this footer with some social links, and here we have a button. So if I click here it will go to the top. It's a scroll to top button, and you can notice that every website have this feature. So we're going to build this also. Next thing is our website is fully mobile responsive. So if I inspect and if I go to a mobile version, you can see in mobile version everything fit perfectly. Here we have a burger menu. So if I click here, you can see a sidebar will open without nav links, and this is very beautiful and smooth. You can see first a overlay comes and then a sidebar opens, and we can close it. Then you can see every section fit perfectly, and if I start scrolling we have this slider here, and if I click here you can see it slide from left to right. We have this hotel section and it also fit perfectly. We have this section, then we have this beautiful slider which also looks very nice in mobile devices. Then we have this news section that fit perfectly, then this newsletter, and finally the footer. You can see everything fit perfectly in mobile devices. If I show you in iPhone 2012 Pro, you can see it fit perfectly and looks very nice. Then if I show you in another type of devices, like for iPad devices, here you can see it also fit perfectly and the background video looks awesome. Here we have the burger menu which can open and close, and if I start scrolling here you can see it fit perfectly. Our hotel section, why chooses section, this slider also looks very nice. Then we have this news section, then this newsletter section, and finally the footer section. So you can see everything fit perfectly in both mobile devices and iPad devices, and if I click here it will also work in both mobile and iPad devices. So our website is fully responsive. So in this tutorial, I'm going to teach you everything from scratch. I'm going to show you how you can initialize a Next.js 15 project. I will show you the basic routings of Next.js. Then I'm going to show you how you can create component, reusable component, how you can work with third-party NPM packages, and how you can make your website fully mobile responsive and responsive for all devices. And finally, I'm going to teach you how you can deploy your project in live server. So I encourage you to watch the full video for better understanding. The source code and the starter file of this project will be given in the description. You can use the source code and you can modify it to showcase in your portfolio, or you can show this to your client. And if you have any question related to this project, you can ask me in the comment section. And please like, share and subscribe our channel for more interesting web development content. Now let's start building this amazing landing page website. Now we are going to set up our project. So for this I'm going to create a new folder and I'm going to name it travel YT, and I'm going to open this folder inside my Visual Studio Code. And here I'm going to open a new terminal and I'm going to use the npx create next app at the rate latest, and then I'm going to use a dot slash so that all the packages are installed in our travel underscore yt folder. Now I'm going to hit enter. Now it asks us, would you like to use TypeScript? Yes, we are going to use TypeScript. We are going to use ESLint. We are going to use Tailwind CSS. We do not need the source directory. We're going to use the app router, and the turbo pack is new for Next.js 15. This is for the faster development. So we are going to use the turbo pack here, and the import aliases. No, we do not need to customize our import alias. So I'm going to hit enter. Now it will install all the necessary packages to initialize a Next.js package, a Next.js project. So let's wait some time to complete the installation. The installation is completed. Next, go to your tailwind config.ts and here remove the extend part because we do not need it. We are going to start from scratch. And then this app folder is our main folder. And here you can see we have a global.css. These are global styling. So I'm going to remove everything here and hit save. Then we have this page.tsx, which is our main page. So if you go to the localhost 3000, this page will appear on the screen. And then we have this layout folder. So we are going to work on the layout later. Now let's focus on the page.tsx. So here I'm going to remove everything and I'm going to use RAFC to create a component boilerplate, and I'm going to name this home page. And then I'm going to add some tailwind to check if our tailwind is working or not. So text 5xl. Now if I hit save and then if I use npm run dev and hit enter, this will run our project, and here you can see this is using the turbo pack. So now if I go to the browser and go to the localhost 3000, here you can see we have our home page with the bigger text. That means our tailwind is working properly. Now let's understand what is layout. Layout is our overall wrapper. So I am going to give you an example so that you can understand it better. So for example, if I add a navbar and then we have the children and then we have the footer, then this navbar and footer will be attached to all the page that we are going to create in this project. So here you can see we have our nav and footer and then our child component, which is home page. So this is the wrapper of our project. So for now, let have this nav and footer here. Next, I'm going to teach you the routing. So for the basic routing, we are going to first go to like localhost 3000. So these are default page, and then we are going to create a route to go to the localhost 3000 slash store. Then we are going to create a route for localhost 3000 slash store details. so some deep routing, and then we are going to use a local host 3000 slash tor slash tor details slash the tor id, for example let's say 1. So we're going to implement this 4 so that you can understand the routing in Next.js better. So for the first one here we have localhost 3000 slash tor. So to create this, first we have to create a folder, and the folder name will be the name you give here. So for this we need to name it tor, and then inside this we have to create a page.tsx, and it is very important you have to name it page.tsx, otherwise it will not work. Now I'm going to use rafc to create a component boilerplate, and I'm going to name it tor page. Now if you wonder how I use the shortcut, so for the shortcut you need to install a extension, and the extension name is es7 react redux react native snippet. By installing this extension you can use the rafc to create a component boilerplate. So now this is our tor page. Now if I go to the localhost 3000 slash tor and hit enter, and now you can see we have our nav, our footer, and our tor page. Now you can understand what is meant by the layout. So in every page this nav and footer are common because our layout is the overall wrapper. That's why it wrap all the pages, all our project file, so that we have this nav and footer common to every page. And now you can see we have our tor page. So awesome. So next we are going to implement this tor slash tor details. So for this I'm going to delete this, and what we need to do is we need to create tor first because we have tor, then we need to create another folder which is tor details. So inside tor I'm going to create another folder called tor details, and this will be added to our url. And then inside this tor details I'm going to create a page.tsx, and I'm going to use rafc to create the component boilerplate, and let's say tor details. Now if I hit save, and now this page is not exist, so we need to go to the tor slash tor details. Now if I hit enter, now you can see we have our nav, our tor details, and footer. So that means our tor details route is also working. Next, if we have a dynamic value here, so if we need to do the dynamic routing, then what we need to do? So here you can see we have a tor id, and this can be 1 2 3 4 and any random number for tor. So how can we implement this? So for this I'm going to delete this page.tsx, and inside this tor details I'm going to create another folder, and let's say it's the id, and in tor details, so here we have the id. Now inside this I'm going to create a page.tsx, and I'm going to use rafc to create the component boilerplate and name it tor details. Let's add dynamic. Now if I, and this page is not exist anymore, so now I'm going to use slash and any random id, let's say 27. Now if I hit enter, now we are in the tor detail page, and this is dynamically rendering. So now you can see we have 27 here, and we have this tor details page. So this is our dynamic routing. Now you have a better understanding of how routing works in Next.js. Now let's go to our localhost 3000, and then I am going to delete this folder because we do not need it. So delete this and delete this comment also. So our basic routing concept is completed. So now you have a idea of how routing works in Next.js. Now we are going to customize our font and metadata. So for this we are going to open the layout folder, and before that let's delete the tor. So delete this. And now in layout folder, we're not going to use this local font, we're going to use the Google font. And next is 15 already have Google font integrated, so we are going to import something from next slash Google, not Google, next slash font slash Google, and we're going to use Poppins. Then here I am going to create a constant called font where we're going to use our Poppins, call this, and we have to pass some parameter. First one is font weight, so we're going to use 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, and 900. And then we have to pass another one which is subsets, and the subsets will be Latin. Now we are going to use this here, so I'm going to remove one of these, and here remove this, and we're going to use font dot class, and I'm going to hit save. Now if I go to our project, and you can see our font changed. Now it's using the Poppins fonts. If I inspect and if I hover here, you can see it's using the Poppins. So the font 48 pixel Poppins. Next we are going to change the metadata. So this metadata is very important for SEO purposes. So for the title here we are going to use travel for you. Let's say Next.js 15. You can use anything you want, and here for the description we are going to use travel landing page using Next.js 15. Now if I hit save, and now here you can see we have travel for you Next.js 15. That's awesome. We configure our metadata. Next we need some icons. So for the icons we are going to use React icons. If I go to their GitHub page, here you can see they have a lot of different types of icons that you can use. So we're going to open their npm page, and I'm going to copy this, and then I'm going to split the terminal and paste it here and hit enter. Now it will install the React icon in our project. So the installation is complete. Next we need some images for our project and some videos. So for this, in public I am going to create a folder called images, and here I am going to copy the images and videos we are going to use. So I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste it here, and these images will be attached to the starter file, and the starter file is in the description, also the source code of this project where you will get everything. So next I'm going to create a folder here, and I'm going to name it components, and inside this I'm going to create a home folder, and then I'm going to create a helper folder. The home folder we're going to add a home.tsx, and I'm going to use RFC to create the component boilerplate. So inside this home component we are going to add our homepage related component like the hero section, the slider section, the review section, and then this home component I'm going to add this in our page component. So here let's remove this, and here we're going to use our home component. That's where we will have this clean homepage component, and I'm going to save this. Now here you can see we have home. Now we can remove this nav and footer from our layout. So let's remove this nav and footer. So next what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a data folder, and here we are going to use data.ts, and here we are going to use some static data that we are going to use in our project. So I'm going to copy this. So I'm going to copy the data here, And here you can see we have some destination data with ID, image, country, travelers. Then we have hotels data, tours data, review data, and that's it. So we are going to use this data, static data, in our project, and by doing this you can easily change the information here. So you just need to change it here and not in the component. So this is very helpful. So and then in the component in the home, here we are going to add a class name of overflow hidden. So we do not want any overflow in our project. So now we have our component folder, our app folder, our data. So our setup is completed. Now we are going to build the navbar. So if I show you the navbar in the deployed version, here you can see we have a logo, some nav links, and a button. And if I start scrolling, you can see the navbar changes background color. So now we are going to build this navbar. So for this, I'm going to create a new folder inside my home folder, and I'm going to name it navbar. And then inside this I'm going to create three files. One is nav.tsx. This is for our largest screen navbar. So I'm going to use RFC to create the component boilerplate, and then I'm going to hit save. Next I'm going to create another file for mobile navbar. So mobile nav.tsx, and I'm going to use RFC to create the component boilerplate. Then I'm going to add another one which is responsive nav.tsx. Here we are going to define our function to make our navbar responsive. So I'm going to use RFC to create the component boilerplate, and then I'm going to hit save. And here we are going to add our nav, and also we are going to add our mobile nav. Then we are going to add this responsive nav component in our layout. So here first we will have the navbar, then children. So we are responsive nav. That's it. Now if I hit save, now here you can see we have our nav, mobile nav, and then this home from our home component. Next in the nav.tsx, for the first div we have a class name of, for now I'm going to add a default background color so that we can visualize this properly. So I'm going to use bg blue 950. Then we have transition, or we are going to use a transition because when we change the background in scrolling we want to make it smoothly. That's why we are using this transition all. Then we are going to use a duration of 200 millisecond, height will be 12 z index will be 1000. Now if I hit save, and now if I go here you can see we have this navbar with this blue background. Next what we have is inside this div we have another div with class name of flag. Items will be center, height will be full, justify will be between, width will be 90%, in extra large screen width will be 80%, mx will be auto. Now if I hit save, so what we are doing here is we are using the flex to separate these three. So first we have this logo, then we have this nav links, and finally we have the button. That's why we are using the flex. Now inside this, first we have our logo. So let's add a comment here, and then we have a div with class name of flex. Items will be center, SpaceX will be 2, and then inside this div we'll have another div with class name of width 10, height 10, bg will be rows 500, rounded will be full. Then we have flex item center, justify center, and flex in the column direction. And inside this div we'll have a icon. So we're going to use tb air balloon icon from React icon. So we install the React icon in our setups. So here we import this icon from our React icons. And here we're going to define a class name of which 6, height will be 6, text color will be white. And if I hit save, now you can see we have this beautiful logo. And we're going to add a text here also. So after this div, we have a h1 with our text which is creepy. And this h1 will have a class name of text extra large. In medium screen, text will be 2xl, text color will be white, it will be an uppercase, and font bold. Now if I say, now you can see we have this text trippy with this logo. So now it looks exactly like this one, which is nice. Then we have this nav links. So after this div we have nav links. For the nav links, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new folder called constant, and inside this I'm going to create a constant.ts. So here we are going to store our constant related stuff. So here what I'm going to do is, so here we are going to use a export const. We are creating a variable, constant variable, which is nav links, and here we are going to use a array of object, and inside this we have an id 1, then we have an url for our nav, which is for now is hash, but if you have any url you can use it here. Then the label will be home for the first one. Now we are going to create more. So we have 6 of them, so 1 2 3 4 5 6. The second one will be id 2, and the label will be above. Then we have this 3, and the label will be destination. Then we have label 4 with the text block. Then we have level 5, not level 5, id 5 with the text of dashboard. And finally we have id 6, and the label will be content. By using this format, you can now add any nav link here easily or delete any of them, and you do not need to repeat this home, about, destination block nav links one after another and style them separately. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my nav, and here I'm going to import it. So first we have a div here with class name of, and these nav links will be hidden in smaller devices, because in smaller devices we have this mobile nav component that will be visible, the mobile nav slider. So in large screen we'll have the flex, items will be center, SpaceX will be 10. Now inside this div we're going to use our nav link. So we're going to import it from our constants, and then we're going to map through it. We'll get an individual link, and then we're going to return a link which is coming from next link, and the href will be link dot URL, and we have to provide a key. The key will be link dot id, and then inside this link we'll have a p tag with our link label, link dot label. Now if I hit save, here you can see we have our nav links, but they do not have the proper styling. So for the styling, the p tag will have a class name of relative, text color will be white, text will be beige, font will be medium, width will be fit, this one will be block. We're going to use the after pseudo element. After it will be a block. In after, the content will be blank. Then we have after so blank. Then we have what we have is after the content will be an empty string. Then we have after absolute. After the height will be 3 pixels. After the background will be yellow 300. After the width will be full. After the scale x will be 0, and in after hover we have scale x of 100, and after the transition will be, so we have the transition duration will be 300 millisecond, and the after origin will be right. Now if I hit save and go to our website, and if I hover here, you can see we have this beautiful hover effect, and the nav links are properly styled just like this one. Next we have this button, so book now button. So after the nav links we have buttons. So here we will have two buttons. One is the book now, and then we have the burger menu button. That's why here we are going to use flex. Items will be center. Space X will be 4. And then inside this we will have the button, and the text will be book now, and this button will have a class name of, in medium screen px will be 12, in medium screen py will be 2.5, px will be 8, py will be 2 for small devices, text will be black, text will be beige, bg will be white, in hover bg will be gray to 100, then transition of duration to 100, and rounded LG. Now if I hit save, here you can see we have this book now button which looks nice. Then we have the burger menu. So after this button we have burger menu. So burger menu, And here we are going to use a icon which is hide bars 3 bottom left, not left, right. So this is also coming from our React icons, and this one will have a class name of width 8, height 8, cursor pointer, text white. And if I save here, you can see we have our burger menu, but this one will be hidden in large screen and it will be visible in our mobile devices. So for that reason, in large screen we're going to make it hidden. Now if I hit save and if I go here, you can see it's hidden now. So now we have our logo, our nav links, and our button, just like this one. Now if I inspect, here you can see in smaller devices we have our burger menu and our link is gone now. So you can see now it looks nice. Now we have to implement the mobile navigation and the functionality. So if I show you the mobile nav, here you can see when I click here, first the overlay comes, then the sidebar opens. And here we have some nav links here, and it open and close very smoothly. So now let's build this component. So for this, let's go to the mobile nav. So here inside this div, we have our overlay. So let's add a div here, and the div will have a class name of fix. Then we have inset of 0. We are going to use transform because we are going to use the transform property and the transition to animate the smooth open and close functionality. So we're going to use transform transition all, duration will be 500 millisecond, z index will be 1000, pg will be black, opacity will be 70, width will be full, and height will be screen. Now if I hit save and if I go to the mobile phone view, you can see now we have the overlay. So next what we have is nav links, and here we have a div with class name of text white. It will be fixed, justify, center, flex in the column direction, height will be full. We're going to use transform here, then transition all, duration will be 500 millisecond, and here we are going to use a delay because as you can see first the overlay comes and then the nav link. That's why we want some delay between them. So the delay will be 300, width will be 80%, and in small and large screen width will be 60%, and background will be rows 900, and space y will be 6, and z index 106. Now I'm going to hit save, and then inside this div we are going to use our nav links which is coming from our constant, and we are going to map through it. We'll get the individual link, then we are going to return a link which is coming from our next link, and here we have to provide the key which will be link dot id, and then the href will be link dot UR, and inside this div we will have the P, and this one will have the class name of text white, width will be feet, text will be 20 pixel, margin left will be 12, border B, border bottom will be 1.5 pixel, padding bottom will be 1, border will be white, and smaller devices text will be 30 pixel. Now if I hit save, and here inside this P we have our link dot label. Now if I go to our project, here you can see we have our home, about, destination, blog, dashboard, and contact, but this looks not good. So here what we are missing, so the problem is here we have to increase it. So let's use 1002, and here use 1050, and in the nav, let's save this one, and in the nav here we have to make it fixed because our nav will be fixed and the width will be full. Now if I hit save, now you can see it looks perfect. So just like this one, and we need this cross icon now. So let's go to our mobile nav, and here after the nav link we have the close button. So here we are going to use another icon from our React icon. So we are going to use CG close, and this one will have a class name of, and this one will be inside this div. So let's cut it, it will be inside this div, and the class name will be absolute. Then we have top of 0.7 RAM, right will be 1.4 RAM, and smaller devices width will be 8, smaller devices height will be 8, and width will be 6, height will be 6. Now if I hit save, and now you can see we have the close icon, and this looks very nice. Our mobile navbar is ready. Now we have to implement the functionality. So for this I am going to open my responsive nav, and here we need to convert this component into client component, because here we are going to use state hooks, and in Next.js 15 by default every component is a server component, and in server component we cannot use hooks. To use the hooks we need to convert the component into a client component. Let me show you here. So if I use const, we are going to use show nav and set show nav and use state, and initially this one will be false. Now if I hit save and go to our project, here you can see we have an error, and it says that you are importing a component that needs use state. This React hooks only works in a client component, and to fix this we need to use this use client directive at the top. So let's use this to convert this into a client component. So use client. Now if I hit save and reload the page, now you can see the error is gone. Now our component is converted into a client component. Next, I'm going to create two functions here. One is handle Snapshot. This one will be an arrow function that will set our snapshot to true. Then we have another one, const handle close snap, close snap. This one will be an arrow function, and this one will set our show snap to false. Now we are going to pass this information in our nav and mobile nav, and then we have to receive this information and give them the proper type because we are using the TypeScript. So in the nav, we are going to pass the open nav props, which will be our handle nav show function. And in mobile nav, we are going to pass the show nav, variable. So show nav, and then we are going to pass a props which is close nav, and we are going to pass the handle close nav. Now we have to receive this in our nav and mobile nav and give them the proper type. So first let's go to the nav, and here we're going to use type props. You can use any name you want. I am using the props here, and the props types will be, we're receiving a props of open nav, and open nav is a function that returns void because our function doesn't return anything. Then we are going to add this in our component, so prop, and here we are going to import our openNav function. And when we click on the burger menu, so here on click, we are going to run our openNav function. That's it. Now in the responsive nav, we are going to do the, not in the responsive nav, in the mobile nav we do the same. We are going to type prop, and here we are receiving show nav variable, which is a type of boolean. This one can be true or false. Then we are receiving a props called close nav, which is a function, arrow function, that return void. Void means nothing. Then here we are going to add this props, and we are use the close nav and show nav. And first, when we click on the close button, so on click, we'll call our close nav. That's it. Now the next step is, based on the show nav property, we are going to show the sidebar and hide the sidebar. So for that reason, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a variable here, const nav open, and we are going to check if show nav is true. Then we are going to use translate x 0. That means we are going to show the sidebar. Otherwise, we are going to use translate x of -100%. That means we are going to remove it from our screen. That means we are going to hide it. Now we have to pass this in our overlay as well as the nabling step. So for this, I am going to convert this into a template literal to insert the dynamic variable. So convert this into a template literal, remove this double quote, and here we are going to use our nav open. Same goes for here. So we are going to convert this into a template literal, and we are going to remove the double quote here, and we are going to use the nav open variable. Now if I hit save, and now if I click here, you can see it's open with the smooth animation and close it with smooth animation. And you can see the overlay first comes and then the actual sidebar. So this looks very nice. Our responsive functionality is complete, and we need to do the next functionality here, which is when I start scrolling, you can see the navbar changes background color. For this, what we are going to do is we are going to open our nav, and here we are going to also convert this into a client component, because here we are going to use the use state. So use client to convert this a client component, and here we need to initialize a state variable which is navbg and set navbg, and we are going to use state, and initially this one will be false. Now we are going to use effect hooks, and then the dependency array, and inside this use effect we are going to create a function called handler. This one will be an arrow function, and inside this we are going to first check if the window dot scroll y, that means scroll in the y direction, is greater than equal 90, that means we scroll 90 pixels, then we are going to set our navbg to true, then we are going to show the background color. And if, and let's copy this one and paste it here, if it is less than 90, then we are going to set our navbg to false. That's it. Next, in the window we are going to add an event listener, and the scroll event we are going to call our handler function. That's it. That means when the scroll is happening, we are going to add the add event listener to perform the handler function. Then we are going to use the cleanup function here to remove the event listener. So return, and here I am going to copy this and paste it here, and we are going to change this to remove event listener. That's it. Now we are going to use this navbg. So for the first div we are going to use this. We may convert this into a template literal, remove the double quote, and here we are going to check if navbg is true, then we are going to use our bg blue 950 and a shadow of md, otherwise we're just going to make it fixed without any background color. Now if I hit save, and let's remove this background, permanent background that we use, and hit save, and also add some height so that we have the scrolling effect, so make it 10,000 pixel. And if I hit save, and if I reload the page, so first remove the background color, so we have this one, but we want to remove this permanent background. Now if I save, now you can see initially we don't have any background color, but if I start scrolling, it changes background color and it looks awesome. And initially we don't have any background because initially the background will be the video, so that's why we don't have the background. So for now let's add the background here, so bg blue 950. Now let's go to our website. So this is our navbar. Let's check the functionality again. So here you can see we have our menu to open the sidebar, and in the iPad you can see it also looks very nice. So now let's remove the background because we do not need it. So remove this and hit save. So this is our navbar. Our navbar is completed. Now we are going to build the hero section. So if I show you the hero section, you can see we have this beautiful background video that is playing infinitely, and here we have some text and a search box. So now we are going to build this section. So for this I am going to create a new folder inside my home folder, and I'm going to name it hero, and inside this I'm going to create a file called hero.tsf, and I'm going to use RAFC to create the component boilerplate, and then I'm going to add this inside our home. So here, so for now we do not need the height here, and here we are going to add our hero. Now if I hit save, and here you can see we have the text hero. So next, in the hero, the first div have a class name of relative. We have width of full, height will be 120 VH, and small and large screen the height will be 100 VH. Now if I hit save, so nothing changed here. So inside this div we have another div with class name of absolute. Top will be 0, left will be 0, width will be full, height will be full, BG will be gray 800, opacity will be 70. This is the overlay. So here you can see we have an overlay. So let's add a comment here that this is the overlay of our video. So overlay. Now next we have the video. We have the video tag. So video, this one will be a self-closing. Here we have to pass the source. The source will be slash images slash hero1 dot mp4. If you want, you can keep the video in a video folder. So next we have the autoplay will be true, then the muted true, then the loop will be true, the preload will be metadata. So metadata, then we have some class name. So class name will be width full, height full, object cover. Now if I hit save and go to our website, and here you can see we already have the video playing here. So if I refresh, you can see we have the video playing, and we have the overlay also. So this is the overlay. So if I comment it out, you can see we have this clear video, but we use the overlay because we have some text at the top. So let's uncomment it. You can use other types of background like BG blue 950. Now if I hit save, now you can see it looks different than this one. So it's your choice which background color you want to use. So I'll use this gray 800. So that's it. That looks very nice. Now we have this Navbar links here, looks fine. Next we have this text. So let's go here. So after the overlay we have the video, and after the video we have the text content, and here we have a div with class name of absolute, then we have set of 100, width will be full, height will be full, top will be 50%, left will be 50%, translate x will be minus 50%, and translate y will be minus 50%. Then inside this div we have another div with class name of flex. Items will be center, justify center, flex will be in the column direction, width will be full, height will be full. And then inside this div we have another div, and inside this div we have the h1. The h1 have the text of, let's copy this from our deployed version. So this one, let's enjoy the nature. So copy this and paste it here. And then this h1 will have a class name of text 25 pixel, margin bottom will be 4, in medium screen margin bottom will be 0, text will be center, then in medium screen text will be 35 pixel, in large screen text will be 45 pixel, tracking will be, that means the space between the word, 0.7 rem. Then text color will be white, font bold, and finally we have uppercase. Now if I hit save and if I go to our project, here you can see we have our text. Let's enjoy the nature just like this one, and this looks very nice. Next, after this h1 we have a p tag, and I'm going to copy the text from here. So let's copy this and then paste it here, and this p tag will have a class name of class name. In medium screen text will be base, text center, text will be large, then we have text color white, font will be normal, then we have word dash spacing will be 5 pixels. Now if I hit save, now it looks just like this one, which looks very nice. Next we have the search bar, advanced search box. So for this I'm going to create a helper component for the search box only. That's how we are going to reuse our component. If it needs to render it another page, we can reuse this search box component then, and it is easy to maintain the code by splitting the code in different components. So I am going to create a helper component here called search box dot tsx, and I'm going to use RAFC to create the component boilerplate. And then in the hero section, so after this div we're going to use the comment of search box, and then we're going to use our search box component, and I'm going to hit save. Now if I go here you can see we have the text search box. Next we're going to open our search box.tsx, and here the first div have a class name of bgwide rounded lg. Padding will be 8, padding is grid. Grid calls 1 for smaller devices in medium screen. Grid calls will be 2 in large screen. Grid calls will be 3, and in extra large screen grid calls will be 4. Items will be center, justify, center. Gap will be 8. Margin top will be 4. In smaller devices, margin top will be 6, not 6. Margin top will be 12. That means 3 RAM. Then we have width of 95%, and smaller devices width will be 80%. That's it. Now inside this we have the first search input, and here we have a div with class name of flag. Items will be center. Then we have SpaceX will be 6, and inside this we have first an icon which is fa map icons from React icons, and this icon have a class name of width will be 5, width will be 6, 1.5 RAM, height will be 6, text will be blue 600. Now if I hit save, here you can see we have this box and this icon. Then we have this text location and a input. So after the map we have another div, and inside this div we have a p tag with the text location, and this p tag have a class name of text lg. Font will be medium. Then we have margin bottom will be 0.2 RAM. Then we have an input. So input type will be text, and the placeholder will be where are you going, where are you going, and this input have a class name of outline none, border none, placeholder text gray 800. Now if I hit save, here you can see we have our location and the input box where are you going, just like this one. Next we have the start date and end date. So after this div we have the second search input, and here we have a div with class name of flex. Items will be centered, SpaceX will be 6, and inside this div we first have the calendar icon. So fa calendar week, and this will have the class name of width 6, height 6, text blue 600. Then we have another div, and inside this div we have a p tag with the text start date, and then we have an input type date, and have a class name of outline none and border none, and this p tag have the same class name as this. So I'm going to copy this and paste it here. Now if I hit save, and here you can see we have the start date, and here by clicking this you can have this calendar to select any date, which is awesome. It's just like this one. Then we have this end date. So I'm going to copy this one, and this one will be our third search box, and here the text will be end date, and other will be the same. Now if I hit save, now here you can see we have this end date just like this one, and next we have this guest. So here also you can have the calendar to select any date you want, and then we have this guest. So let's go here, and after this div we have the fourth search input, and here we have div, and this div have the same class name as this one. So I'm going to copy this and paste it here, and then we have the icon here. So I'm going to copy this icon and paste it here, and then I'm going to change it. So this one will be if a user group. So then after this we have the div. Inside this div we have a p tag, and the p tag will have the same class name as this one. So I'm going to copy this and paste it here. The p tag will have the text of guest, and then we have another p tag with one guest, one room, and this p tag will have a class name of text base, font will be normal. Now if I hit save, and here you can see we have this guest and one row, and our search box is looking very nice, so just like this one. And next we have this search button. So let's go to our project, and here we are going to open the hero.tsx now, and after the search box we have a link tag is coming from our next link, and here the href will be hash for now, and then this inside this link we have span, and then we have another span, and here we have search. Now for the link have a class name of rounded, then we have px of 40, in medium screen px will be 28, margin top will be 4 minus 4, margin top 4, and py will be 2.5, overflow hidden, this one will be a group. Then we have background will be rows 600, relative, then we have hover, the background will be gradient, to be the gradient to t, to not top, we're going to use gradient to r, that means gradient to right, and hover from rate 500, and hover to rate 400. Then we have text of white. In hover we'll have a ring 2, so ring 2. In hover ring offset will be 2. In hover the ring will be red 400. Transition will be all. The transition type will be ease out, and duration will be 300. Now if I hit save, and then for the span we have a class name of absolute right will be 0, width will be 8, height will be 32, minus margin top will be 12, transition all, duration will be 100 milliseconds, that means 1 second. We're going to transform and translate. X will be 12, PG will be white, opacity will be 10, then we have rotate 12, then group hover we have translate X 40, and the animation type will be ease. Then the last span will have a class name of relative and font bold. Now if I hit save, and now here you can see we have our search button, but it's not looks the exactly like this one. So here you can see we have this thing that come and go. So here we have some mistake. So let's find out what we are missing here. So here what we have is this one will be minus translate X 40. Now if I hit save, and now if I hover, you can see this looks very nice, amazing hover effect. So now let's check if this is mobile responsive. Now if I inspect and if I select iPhone devices, and here you can see everything fit perfectly. We have our navbar, our text, our search, everything fit perfectly with the viewport size. And we have this navbar for sidebar and the smooth animation. So you can see the video is also playing at the background. Now if I show you in the iPad devices, here you can see it's also fit perfectly. So our hero section is completed. Next we are going to build the top destination section slider. So if I show you, here you can see here we have some heading, then we have the slider. So here you can see we have this beautiful slider where you can slide from left to right or right to left. Now we are going to build this section. So for this I am going to create a new folder inside my home folder, and I'm going to name it destination, and inside this I'm going to create a new file called destination.tsx, and I'm going to use RAFC to create the component boilerplate, and then I'm going to add this inside my home folder. So here I'm going to add destination. Now if I go to our project, here you can see we have this text destination. Now for the first div we have a class name of padding top of 20, padding bottom of 20, and then inside this we are going to add our heading. Now for the heading we are going to use a reusable component. Because if I show you the deployed version, here you can see here we have a heading, then we have heading here. So we have similar types of heading. So we are going to reuse this component. So let's go to our helper folder and I'm going to create a new file called section heading.tsx. I'm going to use RAFC to create the component boilerplate. Then inside this we are going to receive some props. So type props, and we are going to receive heading, which is type of string, and then we are going to pass this inside our component, and then we are going to import our heading. Now for the first div we have a class name of width will be 80%, then mx will be auto, and now inside this div we have a h1 with our heading, and then we have a p tag with subheading. You can receive another props for subheading, but I'm going to use a random text here. So let's use lorem 6. Now if I hit save, and for the each one we are going to use a class name of text excel. In smaller devices text will be 3xl, text will be blue 950, font will be bold. Then inside this p tag we have a class name of margin top of 2, text will be gray 700, smaller devices text will be beige, text will be small, font will be medium, and if I hit save, so this is our section heading. Now we are going to add this section heading in our destination folder in destination file. Here we are going to use the section heading, and then we are going to pass the props heading, and the heading will be exploring popular destination. Now if I hit save and go to our project, here you can see we have this beautifully designed section heading. Now we can use this section heading for our next section also. So these are section heading. Next, so we can use a comment here, section heading. Then we have the section content. So here we are going to use a div, the class name of margin top of 14, width will be 80%, mx will be auto, and inside this div we are going to create a custom component for our slider. So if I show you the slider, so you are going to use a separate component to build this slider. So let's go to our destination. So I'm going to create a new file called destination slider.tsx. So I'm going to use RAFC to create the component boilerplate, and then here we are going to add our, so let's use the comment of slider and then the destination slider. Now if I hit save, here you can see we have the text destination slider. Now go to the destination slider, and here for the slider we are going to use a npm package, and the npm package we are going to use is React multi-carousel. So let's go to our browser and search for React multi-carousel. Now if I go to their npm package, here you can see they have a huge number of weekly downloads. That means this package is very popular. Here they have the demo, they have the proper description and documentation. If you want, you can learn more about, and implement some advanced sliding animation. So for now I am going to copy this npm and I'm going to paste it here to install this package. Next what we need is we need to import this carousel and the styling. So I'm going to copy these two and I'm going to paste it here. Next what we need is a responsive variable, so we're going to use this. So let's copy this variable and then paste it here. So we are going to change some of this. So in desktop the max will be 3000 and the mean will be 1324, and we are going to show 5 items and we are going to slide 1 item. That means slides to slide will be 1. And next this one the mean will be 1324, max will be 1324 and mean will be 764, and the items will be 2 and slides to slide will be 1. And in mobile the max will be 764 and the mean will be 0, items will be 1 and slides to slide will be 1. That's it. Next you can see they use the carousel with a lot of options, so you can use this. So let's go here. We're going to remove this and we're going to use carousel, and here let's use a div for now. Then here we are going to use our responsive, which is our responsive variable. Then we have infinity to true, then autoplay will be true. So infinite will be true, autoplay will be true. Then the autoplay speed will be 5000 milliseconds, that means 5 seconds. And the keyboard control will be true. That's it. And we have to convert this into a client component. We're going to use client to convert this into a client component. Then we are going to use our destination data. So if I go to the data section and data.ts, and here you can see we have a destination data variable where we have some destination data. Here we have some object. So the object contains the ID, image, country and travel. So we are going to use this static data. So now let's go to our destination slider, and inside this we are going to use our destination data, which is coming from our data folder, and we're going to map through it. We will get individual data, and then we are going to return a div, and we have to pass the key. The key will be data.id, and then this div have a class name of margin 3. Now inside this div we have another div with class name of relative, height will be 400 pixel, and then inside this div we have another div with class name of absolute, and this is the overlay. So this is the overlay. So absolute inset will be 0, bg will be black, opacity 25, rounded lg. That's it. And then we have the image. So we're going to use the image component from next image, and here the source will be data.image, the alt will be data.country, then the width will be 500, height will be 500, class name height full, width will be full, object cover, then we have rounded LG. Now if I hit save and if I go to our project and if I reload the page and if I scroll here, you can see we have this beautiful image and we also have the slider which looks amazing, and we have the black overlay also, and this looks very nice, just like this one. Next we need this country name and the number of travelers. So let's go here. So here we have text content, and here we have each one with data dot country, and then we have a p with data dot travelers. That's it. Now the h1 have a class name of text lg, and font will be semi bold, and margin top will be 4. The p tag have a class name of text small, text gray 600, and now if I hit save, now let's reload the page. So we don't have the text here. Let's save again. So this 2 will be outside of this div. So outside of this div, this is the image div. So this div is the image div, and after this div we have this h1 and p. Now if I hit save, now you can see we have our country name and the traveler. So here we have the text traveler also, traveler. Now if I hit save, now here you can see it looks very nice. Now we have the sliding feature as well as the text, and it looks just like this one. Now let's inspect to see if it is mobile responsive. So if I inspect, and for the mobile devices, and here you can see it fit perfectly, and the slider also works properly in the mobile devices. Now let's check for the iPad devices, and in iPad it also looks fantastic. So our destination section is completed. Now we are going to build the hotel section. So if I show you the hotel section, here you can see we have the recommended hotels, and here we have the hotel cards with image and some information. Now we are going to build this section. So to build this, I'm going to create a new folder inside my home folder, and I'm going to name it hotel. And inside this, I'm going to create a file called hotel.tsx, and I'm going to use RAFC to create the component boilerplate, and then I'm going to add this inside my home. So after the destination, we are going to add our hotel. Now if I hit save and go to our project, here you can see we have the text hotel. Next, in the hotel, for the first div, we have a class name of padding top of 20, padding bottom of 20, and then we have the section heading. So inside this, we are going to have the section heading, and for the section heading we are going to use our section heading component. So section heading, we are going to import this, and we are going to pass the heading. The heading will be recommended hotels. Now if I hit save, and here you can see we have our beautiful section heading. Next, after the section heading, we have another div with class name of width will be 80%, image will be auto, we have grid, then we have grid calls of 1, in medium screen we have grid calls of 2, in large screen we have grid calls of 3, in extra large we have grid calls of 4, we have gap of 8, items will be center, then we have margin top will be 16. Now inside this div we are going to use our hotel data. So if I go to the data section, here you can see we have a hotel data area of object. Here we have object which contains ID, image of the hotel, the name of the hotel, the location of the hotel, the rating, the reviews number and the price. If you want, you can change this information and you can customize this further. So let's use this hotels data. Now in the hotel section, so here we are going to use the hotel card. So for individual hotel information, we are going to create a card component. So that's why I'm going to create a new component here called hotel card.psx. And I'm going to use RAFC to create the component boilerplate. And then I'm going to add this inside our hotel. But before that, we are going to map through our hotel data. So I'm going to import the hotels data and we're going to map through it. We'll get the individual data and then we are going to return a div. So return a div and inside this div we will have our hotel data. So not hotel data, hotel card, and then this div will have a key and the key will be data dot id. Now if I hit save and if I go to our project, here you can see we have 4 hotel card because we have 4 data. So now we are going to open our hotel card and one thing that is we have to pass the props. So we are going to pass our hotel data, which is our data. Now we have to receive this data in our hotel card and give them the proper type definition. Now if I hover here, you can see the hotel data contains an ID of number, image of string, name of string, location string, rating number, reviews number. So these are tricks how you can get the types. I'm going to copy this hotel type. So copy this and let's go to the hotel card and here we are going to get a prop which will be a hotel and the hotel will be an object which contains the ID of number, image of string, name of string, location string, rating number, review string and price will be string. So now we are going to pass this prop inside our component and we are going to import the hotel and then inside this div we'll have another div with class name of relative, height will be 300 pixel, width will be full, rounded will be LG, cursor will be pointer, this one will be a group and overflow will be hidden. Now inside this we are going to have another div with class name of absolute, top will be 4, right will be 4, z will be 20, then we have width of 8, height of 8, background will be white, rounded full, text will be black, flex, items will be center, justify will be center and flex in the column direction. Now inside this div we have an icon which is if a heartbeat. So only if a heart, and this icon will have a class name of width 3, height will be 3. Now if I hit save, here you can see we have our heart. So this is the this section, so this part. So add to favorite button. So it's not looking exactly like this one because we don't add the image. So what we can do is we just use a comment here like add to favorite button. So after this div we have an overlay. So overlay, and here we are going to have a div with a class name of absolute. Then we have inset of 0, bg will be black, opacity will be 20, and Z index will be 10. Now if I hit save, and here you can see we have the overlay for the image, and here now you can see the add to favorite button more clearly. So after this overlay we have our image. So here we are going to use our Next.js image component, and then here we are going to pass the source. The source will be hotel dot image. Then the alt will be hotel dot name. The width will be 500. The height will be 500. And then we have the class name. So the class name will be overflow hidden. Height will be full. Width will be full. Transition all. Duration will be 300. Object cover, and then we have group hover, and in the group hover we are going to scale it to 110. That's it. Now if I hit save, and now you can see we have the image, but the hover is not works properly. Let's go here. So here we have a semicolon extra, so remove this. Now you can see the hover also works properly. Now let's refresh the page again. Now you can see the hover also works properly. So next what we have, this content. So let's go here. So after the image, and in this div, after this div we have the content. So here we have another div. Inside this div we have a h1 with hotel dot name. Then we have a p tag with hotel dot location, and the h1 will have a class name of margin top will be 4, text will be lg, font will be semi bold, text will be blue, 950. In hover, text will be black, cursor will be pointer, transition all, and duration will be 200. Now if I hit save, and then for the p we have a class name of text small, text will be gray 600, margin top of 3, font will be medium, and margin bottom will be 6. Now if I save and go to our project, so here you can see we have our text and the location, which looks very nice. Next we have this ratings. So let's go to our project here. So after the p tag we have our ratings. So we have a div, and this div will have a class name of flex, items will be center, spacex will be 2, and then inside this div we have another div with class name of px2, py will be 2, background will be bg blue 800, rounded md, font will be bold, text white, text extra small, and then inside this we will have hotel dot rating. Now if I go to our project, so here you can see we have this beautiful looking ratings. Then after this div we have a p tag with the text exceptional, and then we have another p tag with hotel dot reviews, and then the text reviews. This p will have a class name of text small, text gray 800, and then this p tag will have a class name of text small, font bold, and finally text gray 800. Now if I hit save, now you can see this looks very nice. We have the exceptional and the number of reviews, so just like this one. And finally we have the price. So let's go here. After the ratings we have the price. Yes. And here we have a p tag with class name of margin top of 3, text gray 700, and font will be medium, and the text will be starting from pen us, and here this one will be hotel dot price. Now this pen will have a class name of text blue 600 and font bold. Now if I hit save, and now you can see it looks very nice, starting from $72, $85, $95, and $68, and everything looks perfect, and the hover effect also works properly. It looks exactly like this one. Now let's check if this is responsive. So if I inspect and if I select the mobile view, so in the mobile version you can see we have one card information, and it looks very nice. It fits perfectly with the viewport. And if I show you the iPad devices, here you can see it also fits perfectly and looks very nice. So our hotel section is completed. Now we are going to build the why choose us section. So if I show you here, you can see this is the why choose us section. Now we are going to build this section. So to build this, I'm going to create a new folder inside my home folder, and I'm going to name it why choose. And inside this, I'm going to create a file called why choose.tsx. And I'm going to use RFC to create the component boilerplate, and then I'm going to add this inside our home component. So after the hotel, we are going to add our why choose. Now if I hit save, so here you can see we have the text why choose, and then in the why choose, the first div have a class name of padding top of 16, padding bottom of 24, and then inside this div we are going to have the section heading. So let's use a comment of section heading, and here we are going to use our section heading, and the heading will be why choose us. Now if I hit save, as you can see we have this why choose us. After the section heading, we have another div with class name of grade. Width will be 80%, image will be auto, read calls will be 1 for small devices. In medium and large screen, the grid calls will be 2. In large screen, grid calls will be 3, and gap will be 16. Items will be center, margin top will be 20. Now if I hit save, and then inside this div I first have a div. So this will be our why choose card. So why choose card. So we are going to create a separate component for this portion, and we are going to change the props to change the icons and text. So I'm going to create a component called why choose card.tsx, and I'm going to use RFC to create the component boilerplate, and then here we're going to add our why choose card, and we're going to pass some props. First one is the image, which will be slash images slash c1.psvg. Then we are going to pass the title. For this one we have the title of best price guarantee, and then we have another card, so another two card. The second one will be image will be c2.svg, and third one will be c3.svg. The title for the second title, this one will be easy and quick booking, and the third one is customer care 24/7. Now we have to receive the props and give them that type. So let's go to the why choose card, the type prop, then here we're receiving an image of string and a title of string. Now we have to pass this here props, and then we are going to import our image and title. Now inside this div we are going to have an image which is coming from our next image, and the source will be image, the width will be 70, the height will be 70, the alt will be image, and the class name will be mx auto. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have our beautiful logo image. Then we have the content. So let's add a comment here, image, and then we have the content. In the content we have a h1 with the title, and for the p we have some random text. So let's just copy this from the deployed one. So let's copy this and paste it here. You can receive a description here and pass it from the cart section, but I use the random text here. Now for the h1, have a class name of margin top of 6, text will be center, then text gray 900, font will be medium, and text will be LG. Now if I hit save, and for the p tag, this one have a class name of margin top of 2, text will be center, and text will be extra small, font will be medium, and text gray 700. Now if I hit save, and now you can see it looks like this one, and it looks amazing. So now if I inspect, and in the mobile devices, you can see it fit perfectly in the mobile devices and looks very nice, and in the iPad version it also looks perfect. So our Y2 section is completed. Next we are going to build the client review section. So if I show you the client review, here you can see here we have some text content, and then we have this beautiful and advanced client review slider where you can see you can slide through in both sides, and this looks amazing. So now we are going to build this section. So for this I am going to create a new folder inside my home folder, and I'm going to name it reviews, and inside this I'm going to create a review.tsx, and I'm going to use RFC to create the component boilerplate, and then I'm going to add this inside my home component. So here I'm going to add the review. Now if I hit save, so here you can see we have the text review. Now what we are going to do is we are going to divide this into two parts, one for this text and another for this slider. So now let's go to the review, and for the first div we have a class name of padding top of 20, padding bottom of 20, flex, items will be center, justify will be center, flex will be in the column direction, then background will be hash 13357B. Now if I hit save and go to our project, here you can see we have our background color. Next, inside this div we have another div with class name of width will be 80%, image will be auto, grid, then we have items will be center, read calls will be 1, in large screen read calls will be 2, and gap will be 10. Then inside this div we have another div, and then we have h1, and this is the not this. Inside this is the text content. So the H1 will have the text of what our customer are saying us. Now this H1 will have a class name of text will be to Excel, font will be semi bold, then we have text of white. If I hit save, here you can see we have the text what our customers are saying us. So just like this one. Then we have this text. So I'm going to copy this, and then after the H1 we have a p tag with that text, random text, and this p tag have a class name of margin top of 6, text will be gray 200. Now if I hit save, here you can see we have our text. So it is just like this one. Next we have this overall rating. So next after the p tag we have ratings. So here we have a div with class name of margin top of 6, flex, items will be center, and SpaceX will be 6. Now inside this div we have another div, and here we first have a p with 4.88. Let's say it's the overall, and this p tag will have a class name of text to Excel, font will be bold, and text white. Then after this p tag we have another one with the text overall rating, and this p tag have a class name of text wide, margin bottom will be 2. Next we have a div with the class name of flex, then we have items will be center, and inside this div we are going to use a icon which is f star icon from React icon, and then this have a class name of text white, and we have 5 of them. So I'm going to copy this, 2 3 4 5. Now if I hit save, now here you can see we have our overall rating and the icon, so it looks very nice just like this one. Next we have this slider, amazing slider. So for this I am going to create a separate component. So after the rating, and let's see this text content, after this text content we have our slider. So here we have a div, and we are going to add a class name of overflow hidden, and then I'm going to create a new file called review slider.pfx, and I'm going to use RFC to create the component boilerplate, and then here we're going to add our review slider. Now if I go here you can see we have the text review slider. Now let's go to the review slider, and here what we're going to do is we're going to use a npm package to convert this beautiful slider, to create this beautiful slider, and the package we are going to use is very popular, which is React Sweeper. And if I go to their website, here you can see their demo, and they have the detailed documentation you can learn more about if you want. And here you can see they have the docs, you can see the React Sweeper, and then they have the view version. So first we need to install this, so let's copy this, and go to our terminal and paste it to install the sweeper in our project. Then we have to import. So let's import something from sweeper slash react, and we are going to import the sweeper and sweeper slide. Then we are going to import sweeper slash CSS. Then we are going to import sweeper slash CSS slash effect cards. Then we have to import. So we're going to import something from sweeper slash modules, and we are going to import the effect cards. So that's it. We need this imports, and we have to convert this into a client component. So I'm going to use client to convert the component into a client component. Now if I go here, and if you go to the docs getting started, here you can see the installation, how to use it. You can check the assets and all of this. And if you go to the resource and demos, you will be redirected to a demo page where you can see they have a different types of sliders here. So the normal slider, this slider, and to see the code you just need to click here to the React, and it will redirect to your code sandbox where you can see the codes for this slider, and you can see which component they use, what they import, and all of this. So here you can see we have the code now. So source app.tsx main.tsx. So that's how you can find the code. Now let's go to our project, and here what we're going to do is after this div we're going to use our sweeper, and here we're going to pass the effect, and this one will be cards. Then we need is the grab cursor to true. Then we need the modules, and this one will be an array, and this one will be effect cards. Then we have a class name of in medium screen the width will be 450 pixel. In medium screen the height will be 350 pixel, and width will be 90%, and height will be 300 pixel for large screen. Now if I hit save, so this is our sweeper, and inside this you are going to use our review data. So if you go to the data section, here you can see after the hotel data, and then we have the tours data, and we do not use the tours data, we are going to use this review data. So if I show you the review data, here you can see they have an array of object, and the object contains the id, the name, the review, and the images. So we are going to use this data. So let's go to our code now. So review slider, and here we are going to use our review data, and dot map we will get the individual data, and we're going to return a sweeper slide. So sweeper slide, and here we're going to pass the key, which will be data dot id, and then inside this we so this here we also have some class names. So class name will be bdy rounded 3xl, and then we have block. Now if I hit save and go to our project, here you can see we already have the white background cut, and we have also the sliding feature which looks amazing. Now we have to put the content here. So let's go to the code, and then inside this sweeper slide we first have a div with class name of with 80% mx will be auto, and padding top will be margin top will be 16. Then inside this div we have a p tag with our review, with our data dot review, and here this p tag will have a class name of text extra small, and smaller devices text will be small, in medium screen text will be base, and in font will be semi bold. Now if I hit save, and here you can see we have our review text here which looks amazing. Next we have the icons and the user profile. So let's go here. So let's use a comment here. So this one is the review text, then we have the icons. So here we have a div with class name of flex, items will be center, padding top will be 4, and then inside this we have a icon which is fa star icon from react icon, and this fa star icon have a class name of in medium screen the width will be 6, in medium screen the height will be 6, and in smaller devices width will be 3, height will be 3, and text will be yellow 600. Now if I hit save, and if I add 4 more, and then if I hit save and go to our project, here you can see we have our icon which is exactly like this one. Next we have the profile, user profile. So for now let's remove this and go to our project. So after the icon we have users profile. Then here what we have is another div with the class name of margin top will be 10, and then inside this div we have another div with class name of flex, items will be center, and SpaceX will be 4, and then inside this div we have another image which is coming from the next image, and the source will be data dot image, and then we have width of 60, height of 60, the alt will be client, and the class name will be rounded full. Now if I hit save, here you can see we have the client profile picture. Then after this div, after this image, we have another div, and then we have a p tag with data dot the username, and then we have a p tag with the user profession. So for this let's use web developer. Now this p tag have a class name of text small, smaller devices, text LD, font will be semi-bold, and the p tag will have a class name of text gray 600. Then we have text of extra small, and smaller devices the text will be base. Now if I hit save and go to our project, and you can see we now have the user profile, and this looks amazing and it feels very premium. Now if I inspect to see if everything is responsive, and if I select the mobile devices, and you can see in mobile devices the card also fit perfectly, and we will also have the sliding effect, and here we have the text and everything. And let's show you in the iPad devices. Here in iPad it also looks amazing. So our client review section is completed. Next we are going to build the news section. So if I show you the news section, here you can see we have some news section. Here we have image and some text content. So to build this, I'm going to create a new folder inside my home folder, and I'm going to name the folder news, and inside this I'm going to create a file called news.tsx, and I'm going to use RAFC to create the component boilerplate, and then I'm going to add this inside our home. So after the review we're going to have our news section. Now if I hit save and go to our project, and you can see we have the text news. Now let's go to your news component, and for the first div we have a class name of padding top of 16, padding bottom of 16, and then inside this div we have the section heading. So we will have our section heading, and we're going to use our section heading component for the heading. So the section heading, and here we're going to pass our heading, and the heading will be travel news for you. So exciting travel news for you, exciting travel news for you. Now if I hit save and go to our project, and you can see we have our beautiful section heading. So just like this one. Next what we have is, after the section heading we have a div with class name of width will be 80%, image will be auto, we have a grid calls will be 1, in medium screen grid calls will be 2, in large screen grid calls will be 3, and in extra large screen grid calls will be 4. Now gap will be 10, and items will be center, margin top will be 20. Now inside this div we have another div, and in this div we are going to create another separate component for the individual news card. So let's create this component. So here we are going to create a new component called news card.tsx, and I'm going to use RAFC to create the component boilerplate, and here I'm going to add the news card, and we're going to pass some props for the news card, and the first one is the image, and for first one we have slash images slash n1.jpg. then we're going to pass a title. For this one let's say top 10 places to visit in Australia, and then we're going to pass the date. For this one let's say 15 November 2024, and we have 4 of the news cards, so I'm going to copy it 4 times. So the second one, the image will be N2, and let's say top 10 places to visit in Bangladesh, and change the date to 25 November. Then we have N3, and let's say this one is, the date will be 22, and let's say top 10 place to visit in Pakistan, and then we have the N4, and let's say 5 November, and let's say top 10 place to visit in New Zealand. That's it. Now we have to receive the props and give them the correct type definition. So let's go to the news card, and in the news card we are going to receive a type prop, and we are receiving an image of type string. Then we have date of type string, and then we have title of type string. Now we are going to pass this inside our component, so prop, and we're destructuring it to get the date, the image, and the title. Now for the first div, and then inside this div we have the image. So here we have a div with the class name of height will be 300 pixels, and inside this div we have a image which is coming from our next image, and then here the source will be the image, then the alt will be the title, and width will be 300, height will be 300, and then the class name will be width full, height full, object cover, and rounded will be LG. Now if I hit save and go to our project, here you can see we have these beautiful images of our news, and next we have this text. So let's go here. So after the image we have the text content, so text content, and here we have a h1 with the title, and then we have a p tag with the date. Now for the h1 we have a class name of margin top of 6, text will be LG, text will be gray 950, font semi bold, in hover the text will be blue 950, transition all, duration will be 200 millisecond, cursor pointer, and for the p tag we have a class name of text small, text will be gray 600, margin top will be 3. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have our heading and the date, and we also have a hover effect on the title, and this section looks very nice, exactly like this one. So now if I inspect to see if it is mobile responsive, so let's select the mobile phone first. So here you can see in mobile devices it fit perfectly, and then in the iPad devices you can see in iPad it also fit perfectly. So our news section is completed. Now we are going to build the newsletter section. So if I show you the newsletter section, here you can see we have icon, some text, and a subscribe input with buttons. So now we are going to build this section. So for this I am going to create a new folder inside my home folder, and I'm going to name it newsletter, and inside this I'm going to create a file called newsletter.tsl, and I'm going to use RAFC to create the component boilerplate, and then I'm going to add this inside my home. So after the news we have newsletter. Now if I hit save and go to our project, here you can see we have the text newsletter. Now in the newsletter, the first div have a class name of bg black, padding top will be 16, padding bottom will be 16, this one will be flex, items will be center, justify will be center, then we have width full, and flex will be in the column direction. Now if I hit save and go to our project, here you can see we have our black background and the text. Now inside this div we first have an icon which is vs envelope paper. So this is from the React icon, and here we are going to use the class name of width 16, height will be 16, margin top 20, and text white. Now if I hit save, and here you can see we have our icon. So after the icon we have a h1 with the text of your travel journey starts here, and then we have a p tag with the text sign up and we will send the best deals to you. Now here we have a ESLint warning, so you can quickly fix it using this entity. This will convert to the code. So now if I hit save, and for the h1 we're going to give this a class name of text large. In smaller devices text will be extra large, in medium screen text will be 2XL, text color will be white, font will be semi bold, margin top will be 10, tracking will be widest. Now if I hit save, and for the p tag we have a class name of, so class name, margin top will be 3, text will be white, text will be extra small, in smaller devices text will be small. Now if I hit save and go to our project, here you can see the text your travel journey starts here, and then we have this subheading. So next we have the subscription input and buttons. Here we have a div with class name of widthful, and then inside this we have an input of type text, and this input have a class name of px will be 6, py will be 3.5, bg will be white, margin top will be 8, width will be 95%, in smaller devices width will be 80%, in medium screen width will be 60%, and large screen width will be 40%. This one for the responsive design. This one will be block, Image will be auto, rounded will be LG, and outline will be none. And the placeholder will be email. Now if I go to our project, so here you can see we have this beautiful email box. Let's use the outline none, so it already have the outline none. So next we have the button, and the button will say subscribe, and the class name will be almost same, so I'm going to copy this and paste it here. And here what we need to change is the background. The background will be bg blue 950. So we have bg white, but in hover we're going to use the bg blue 950. Transition will be all, duration will be 200 milliseconds. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here we have something missing, so let's fix this. So we do not need the margin top 8 here. The margin top will be 3, and the background will be initially BT blue 900, and in hover it will be 950. The text will be white here. Now if I hit save, now you can see it looks like this one and looks very nice, and we have the hover effect. So let's check if this is mobile responsive. So if I inspect and if I use the mobile devices, so here you can see it fit perfectly with the screen size, and in the iPad it also fit perfectly. So our newsletter section is completed. Now we are going to build the footer section. So if I show you the footer section, here you can see the footer have 4 parts. So all of them are containing some link and some information, so and some social icon. So let's build this footer. So for this I'm going to create a new folder inside my home folder, and I'm going to name it footer, and inside this I'm going to create a file called footer.tsx. Now I'm going to use RFC to create the component boilerplate, and now we are going to add this inside our layout. After the children, we are going to add our footer, so that all page can have access to this footer element. Now if I go to our project, here you can see we have our footer text. So now in the footer, for the first div, we have a class name of padding top of 16, padding bottom of 16, and then inside this div we have another div with class name of width will be 80%, image will be auto, items will be center, items will be start, then we have grid cost will be 1, in smaller devices grid cost will be 2, and we have to forget to use the grid here, and then we have in medium screen grid cost will be 2, and in large screen we have grid cost of 4. So in medium screen we have grid cost of 3. I think it will be 2. Then inside this div, so here we have one property which is gap will be 10. Now if I hit save, and inside this div now we have the first part. So let's use the comment called first part. Then inside this we have a div with class name of space y5, and then inside this div we have a h1 with our heading which is company, This h1 will have a class name of text large, font will be bold. Now if I hit save, and then we have a p tag. So for the first p tag we have about us, and this p tag will have a class name of text gray 800, font will be medium, then we have cursor pointer, then text will be small, then hover, text will be blue 950. That's it. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have our company, and then we have this about us. So just like this one. Now we have career, blog, gift card, and magazine. So let's copy this p tag. So next for the second one we have carriers, then we have blog, then we have gift card. So this one will be gift cards, and finally we have magazines. So this one will be magazine. Now if I hit save and go to our project, so here you can see we have about us, careers, blog, gift card, and magazine. Next we have this support. So support is exactly like this one, so we are going to copy our first part. So let's copy this div and then reuse it, and then this one will be our second part. And in the second part here will be support, and then here we have contact, then we have legal notice, then we have privacy policy, then we have terms and condition, and then we have sitemap. Now if I hit save, and here you can see we have our contact, legal notice, public privacy policy, terms and condition, and sitemap. Next we have this other services, which is exactly like this one, so we are going to again copy this. So let's copy this and paste it underneath, and this one will be our third part. And in the third part we have other services, other services. This one will be car hire, this one will be activity, so activity finder, then we have tour list, then we have flight finder, and finally we have travel agent. So travel agent. Now I'm going to hit save. Now if I go to our project, so this is our third part, which looks amazing. And then we have this contact us section. So let's go here. So after this div we have the fourth part. So fourth part, and here we have a div, and inside this div we have a h1 with the text contact us, and its class name will be same as this one. So I'm going to copy this and paste it here. I'm going to hit save, and then we have a div with class name of margin top of 6, and then inside this div we have h1 with the text our mobile number. Then we have another h1 with a demo mobile number, so let's use 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So let's say this one. And for the first h1 we have a class name of text small, text gray 600. And for the second h1 we have a class name of text base, font bold, and text blue 950, and margin top will be 1. Now if I hit save and go to our project, there you can see we have this contact us and then our mobile number and then the mobile number, just like this one. So next part is similar to this one, so I'm going to copy this and then we're going to change the content. So here this one will be our email, and let's use a dummy email like example at gmail.com. Now if I hit save, so now you can see this is our contact section, which is looks exactly like this one. And next we have this bottom part. So for now I'm going to copy this text, we're going to use it. So then after this div, we have our bottom section. So bottom section, here we have a div with class name of margin top will be 8, width will be 80%, image will be auto, border will be top, padding top will be 8, this one will be flex in the column direction, in medium screen flex will be in the row direction, then we have justify between, items will be center, text will be gray 600, text small. Now if I hit save and then if I go to inside this div, we have a p tag with our text, copyright text, and this p tag have a class name of text center. Then in medium screen text will be left, and then we have a div, and this div have a class name of flag, items will be center, space text will be 4, margin top will be 4, and medium screen margin top will be 0. And then inside this div we have a span with the text social, and then next we have a link which is coming from our next link, and then for the href we are going to use just a hash, and here we are going to use a icon which is fa Twitter, and this link will have a class name of text gray 500, and in hover the text will be gray 800. Now if I hit save and go to our project, there you can see we have our text, copyright text, and then we have the social with this social icon. So next we have two more. So first one is the Facebook icon. So here we have Twitter. So let's copy this and paste it at the top, and this one will be FA Facebook, Now if I hit save, there you can see we first have the Facebook, then the Twitter, and then we have this dribble. So I'm going to copy this again, and here, sorry, here we have in the terminal. So this one will be fa dribble. Now if I hit save, so here you can see this is our social icons. So and this section looks exactly like this one. So now if I inspect and show you the responsiveness, and if I go to the iPhone devices, in mobile devices, you can see it fit perfectly. The bottom section also fit perfectly. And then if I go to the iPad version, you can see in iPad it also fit perfectly. So our footer section is completed. Next, what we are going to do is we are going to build this scroll to top button. So you can see if I click here, it will go to the top, and initially it is hidden. After I scroll some distance, it appeared to the screen. So now we are going to build this feature. So for this, I'm going to create a new file inside our helper, and I'm going to name it scroll to top.tsx, and I'm going to use RAFC to create the component boilerplate, and then I'm going to add this inside our app and inside our layer. So after the footer, we're going to add our scroll to top, so that all pages have this feature attached to it. So now if I go here, now for now you can see the scroll to top here. So let's start building this feature. So for this, first I'm going to convert this into a client component using use client. Then here, first I'm going to create a state variable. So const is visible and set is visible. So this one is to show our button after some scrolling. So here let's use if not use effect, use state, and here initially this one will be false. So initially we don't want to show it, and then what we are going to do is we are going to use our use effect, and here we are going to use the dependency array, and inside this we're going to create a function called toggle visibility. This function is responsible for toggling the button, so showing the button and hide the button. This one will be an arrow function, and then we're going to check if window dot scroll in the y direction is greater than 300 pixel. That means we scroll this distance. Then we are going to set our is visible to true. Otherwise, we are going to set our is visible to false. Otherwise, we are not going to show the button. Now on the window, we are going to add a event listener, and we are going to listen for scroll event, and we are going to run our toggle visibility, and then we are going to use the cleanup function, and we are going to return this one, but in this time we are going to use remove event listener. So that's it. So we have to use an arrow function here, like this one. So this is our cleanup function. Next, we are going to create a function. We are going to use const scroll to top. So this function is responsible for going to the top. So we are going to use the arrow function, and here we are going to use window dot scroll to, and here we are going to pass some option, and we are going to the top. So top will be 0, and behavior, we want the smooth behavior. Now For the first div, we are going to use a class name of fixed. Bottom will be 4, and we are going to use the animate pulse, and right will be 4. Now inside this div, we are going to check if is visible is true, then we are going to show a button. So then we are going to show a button, and this button will have a class name of bg row 700. Text will be white, then we have to round it full. Width will be 12, height will be 12, this one will be flat, items will be center, then justify center, and in focus the outline will be none. And then inside this button we have a arrow icon, so we are going to use fa arrow up. So now if I hit save, and in the button, in the on click, so when I click on the button, we are going to run our scroll to top function. So now if I hit save, and now if I go to our project, and here you can see we already have the feature. So if I start scrolling, you can see we have this button, and when I click here it will go to the top. If I go to the bottom of the page and if I click here, it will go to the top with this smooth scroll effect. So our scroll to top feature is completed. Now we are going to add some scroll animation in our website for more user attraction. So to make the website more attractive, we are going to add some scroll animations. If I show you the animation in our deployed version, so if I refresh the page, you can see here we have the animation, then we have this scroll animation, which looks amazing. So now we are going to add these types of scroll animation in our website. To implement this animation, we are going to use a npm package which is called AOS. So if I search here AOS, AOS stands for animation on scroll. So if I go to their website, here if I scroll, you can see they have different types of animation: fade up, fade down, fade right, fade left, and all of this. And the cool thing is you just need to add this data AOS property to animate your element, and it's very easy. So now I'm going to open their GitHub pages, and here they have the detailed documentation. So if you want, you can learn more about, and you can create advanced scroll animation here. So for now I'm going to use the npm script to install the package. So npm install dash dash say aos at the rate next. So I'm going to paste it here and hit enter to install the packages. Next I'm going to open our, so let's close all of this, and I'm going to open our home.tsx. Here we are going to configure our animation. So for now we need to convert this into a client component. So I'm going to use client to convert this into a client component. Next we are going to use a use effect, and we are going to add the dependency array. So now if I go to the AOS, and you can see first we need to import these two. So I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste it here. Now if I hover here, you can see we need to install the types for this package. So I'm going to copy this and then paste it here to install the types. So now inside the use effect, we're going to create a function called init AOS, and this one will be an async function, and we're going to use the arrow function here, and inside this we're going to await import AOS. Then we're going to use our AOS dot init and then here we are going to pass some options. The first one is the duration. The duration will be 1000 milliseconds, that means 1 second. The easing will be ease. Then we have once, so we are going to show the animation once when the page reload. This one will be true, and then we are going to use the anchor placement, and this one will be top bottom. Next we need to call this function, so here we are going to call our function init aos. Now I'm going to hit save. So this is our configuration for our aos. Next we are going to add the animation for the hero section, so I'm going to open the hero section, and in the hero section we are going to add the animation to our h1 and the p. So for this div we are going to add a animation, so we are going to use data dash aos, and for this one we are going to use the fade up. So now if I hit save and go to our project, and if I reload the page, here you can see we have our animation. So we have our fade up animation. Next we are going to add the animation to our hotel section. So for this, let's go to the hotel section and hotel.tsx, and here this div which contains all the card, here we are going to use data dash aos, and for this one we are going to use fade right. Here we are going to add more properties. So the second one is the data dash aos dash anchor placement. So for this element we are going to place this in top center, and another thing we are going to add, which is the delay. So if I show you the deployed version, and if I reload the page and go to this session, here you can see they have some delays. So first this element comes, then after some delay this comes, then this, then this. So we are going to add some delay here. So for this, here we will get the indexes. We are going to use the indexes, and then what we are going to do is we are going to use data dash aos dash delay, and we are going to use the template literal, and we are going to use I into 100. Now for the array, the index starts from 0. So for the first element, the index will be 0, and 0 will be multiplied with 100. That means 0 delay for first element. For the second element, the index will be 1, and 1 will be multiplied with 100, which will give us a 100 milliseconds of delay. For the third element, the index will be 2, and 2 will multiply with 100, which gives us 200 millisecond delay. So that's how this works. Now if I hit save and go to our project and reload the page again, so we have the initial animation. Then if I start scrolling, here you can see we have this recommended hotels animation, which looks amazing. Then we are going to add animation to why choose a section. So let's go to our code, and I'm going to copy this too. So copy is this, and then go to the why choose section, and here for the first div we're going to add, for this one we're going to use fade up. Fade up, hit save. Now copy this again. For the second one we will have the fade up, but here we are going to add some delay. So data dash aos dash delay will be 150 milliseconds. Now let's copy these three again and paste it for the third one and change this to 300 milliseconds. Now if I hit save and go to our project, and if I reload the page, we have the initial animation, then we have this hotels animation, And finally, we have this why chooses section animation, and which looks amazing. Next, we are going to add the animation to our news section. So let's go here. I'm going to copy this again and then go to the news section. And in the news section, for the first, we're going to add the animation of fade left. And for the first one, we don't have any delay. So first I'm going to copy this and then delete the delay and hit save. And for the second tip, we have a delay of 100 milliseconds. Then I'm going to copy this. For the third one, we have 200 millisecond of delay, and for the third one we have 400 of millisecond of delay. So sorry, 300 millisecond of delay. Now if I hit save and go to our project and reload the page, and here you can see we have the initial animation. Then if I start scrolling, then we have this hotel section, then this why chooser section, and finally we have this news section. So if you want, you can add different types of animation for this section also, but I'm going to leave it now. So this is our animation. So our animation is completed. So our project is complete. The only thing that is left is to deploy our project. So for the deployment, we first need to deploy our project in GitHub, and then we are going to deploy our project in Vercel. So we are going to use Vercel for our deployment. So first, let's push our project in GitHub. So for this, I am going to open my GitHub account, and here I am going to create a new repository. So new repository, and I'm going to name this travel app, and this one will be a private repository, and I'm going to click here to create a repository. So a new repository is created. Now I'm going to open my code, then I'm going to delete this, and I'm going to stop the app from running. Then I'm going to use CLS to remove all of this. So first we are going to use git init to initialize the git. Then we are going to use git add dot to add our file. Then we are going to use git commit and then a message. For now, first commit. And now if I go to our GitHub, so we done this. Next we have git branch dash m main. I'm going to paste it here. Then we have to add our remote origin. So copy this, paste it here. And finally we are going to push our project. So copy this and paste it here. Now if I hit enter, this will push our project to GitHub. So our deployment is complete. Now if I go to our GitHub and reload the page, here you can see we have our project. So here we have app component constant data public. So our project is successfully pushed in the GitHub. Next I am going to open the Vercel. So let's go to the Vercel. If you don't have any account, you can create one for free. And here I am going to click here to add new project. And here you can see we have this travel app that we pushed recently. So I'm going to import this. And for the project name, we have this travel app, and we do not need to change anything. Just click here to deploy. So the deployment is started. Now let's wait some time to complete the deployment. The deployment is completed. Now click here to go to the dashboard. So here you can see we have a custom domain now. So by clicking this, our application will open. So if I click here, it will open our application. Now it's in the local, not in the local host, but it is in the deployed version. So it's on the live server. So here you can see we have our video which is playing smoothly, and here we have some Vercel things. So I'm going to dismiss this. And now if I reload the page, you can see we still have the animation, Still have the hover effect, the search. If I start scrolling, we have this slider, which is amazing. Then we have this recommended hotel, and we also have the scroll animation. Then we have the why chooses section with scroll animation. Then we have this beautiful slider, which is amazing. Then we have this news section with animation, newsletter section, and final the footer section. We also have this button to go to the top. Now let's check the responsiveness. If I inspect and if I go to the mobile devices, you can see it fit perfectly. Our sidebar also working, so everything fit perfectly. So in our deployed version, everything is okay. So let's check the iPad version. So here you can see it also perfect. So now you have a link that you can share with others. You can share it to your client. You can add this to your resume. You can customize this further. You can add certain functionality like booking functionality, advanced search functionality. So you can do a lot of things now using this landing page. So our project is finally completed. If you have any question related to this project, you can ask me in the comment section. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe our channel for more interesting web development content. And that's it for today. Thank you.